Right now, to set up to flatten this thing, I'm going to want to turn this little feature on. On the display, you should have, right here it says Object Setting, Color Back Faces. If you could click that on, you'll notice that a back face color will appear. If you click onto that little color, you should be able to set the backward face or backside face, and I'm going to set mine to orange, which will look like a very different color from what I have from the outside surface to inside surface. What I want to do is to identify what is the inside and what is the outside. So all my gray faces of the layer default is this gray color, and the inside would be colored into orange. That's just so that I can identify what's on the inside and what's on the outside surface. Okay, so once I did that, this piece right here, they all look like the part. I am going to get rid of this thing. Before I get rid of it, I think I'll keep a safety copy of this thing. So I'll say save, and then save as, and we'll name it D. That way, if I ever need to come back to this point, I can always do that without trying to recreate the whole thing. Okay, so with this piece, I have all these as individual surfaces, which is nice and fine, but to unroll this thing, to make it flat, what I want to do is to take all of these and join them back together. So join, and now this thing should be together. Oh, by the way, this piece is separate, right? When I drew this, I could have drawn it upside down. Had I drawn it upside down, it would have been something like this, where the actual outside surface would be gray, and then had I drawn this upside down, the outside surface will be on the bottom. So to remedy that, if that ever happens to you, just select it and type in flip, and that should turn all the outside surface to the outside outside. Okay, so that's one piece. So I'm going to take this guy, and I should turn it into one piece as well. But before I do that, I'm going to really re-examine this thing, and we'll come back to that. This stuff right here, I'm just going to get rid of. It's just in the way. So delete that. And all of these pieces, I'm just going to move out of the way, because for this next step, I'm going to need to utilize the C-plane. Okay, so this thing I don't really need anymore, but I'll just move it way out of the way, and I don't care where, just move it out of the way. This thing right here, the two pieces that I am going to need, I will move it somewhat controlled, so 200 feet. All right, and remember, we joined this piece back together, right? These guys are still its own individual pieces and parts. Okay, so we'll demonstrate the unroll command later, or just next step.